approaches and has a hit. Jack McGlynn! That is an absolute banger to draw this game level.
What's happening? Hopefully we're live. So if you're on YouTube, let me know. Had a snafu on Monday. No idea what happened. I don't know. It just wasn't working. The stream key, I reset it. Everything for YouTube. We're getting comments coming in. I talked for like maybe 10 minutes and it was like, wow, just I fell off because no one was in chat. And then Sorare Scout, MLS Sorare Scout, let me know. Yeah, it's not working on YouTube. So hopefully we're live. Hopefully we're good. Yeah. Jay Vic, let's go. First up. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Jar, let's go. What's happening? Red or Dead, let's go. Jay Vic, yeah, love it. Twice. That goal's Pee Wee Soccer. Yeah, Maranchuk, he had a banger. I don't think they're going to give him that much space anymore. I don't know. Could be wrong, but it's all good. I fell asleep. Hey, yeah, maybe I, didn't keep you up on Monday. Maybe you had a good night's sleep and didn't have to stay up thinking about MLS when Champs League was going on. So it was meant to be, in the grand scheme of things. So hope everybody's good. Hope everyone had a good game week. MLS was a little bit not great as far as DNPs. And then, Cucho, inevitable, came off the bench and, scored a goal and assist. So I played Diego Rossi. First half, he got subbed. And he was the reason I didn't have a nicer reward than I had. But that'll happen. So hopefully you guys have something in Champs League. I don't. Because I have like Stuttgart cards, so whenever they're playing Real Madrid, you're not expecting a lot, even though I hit 2 decisives in that lineup, but we'll take it. So yeah, I'm going to post the link a couple places. Fire up your questions. I will rapid fire them as we go, as usual. Nothing like 3 games in 8 days and very, very little sleep for myself. So I know I hate this more than anything, the midweeks. If you're going from let's see, Wednesday night. So I went to sleep probably 2 a.m. Just kind of getting my spreadsheet going and kind of getting a head start, and then, have to go to work. So I banged out a few lineups before work on my lunch break. And then just whenever I got home, I was just banging them out. So I much prefer having the whole week to get through these. I did get some team experts. I'll talk about that for sure. And I will be looking for a few more. So I'm kind of reaching out slowly but surely. And this will be more for like next year, but get some people in that know a lot about their club. And yeah, that's big for me. Just give me a little bit extra time. I have like passion projects that I'd like to do. Not all of it's Sorare, but like getting to Sorare scouting and to make my lineups better. Cause like, honestly, I just like am burnt out. And like whenever I get to doing my lineups, like I just I don't look as much, which seems counterproductive, but like at least I know MLS, but I just kind of roll with it. So shout out to Sorare Inside, Sorare Probabilities, and Predictorfy, because I basically have been blind entering lineups based on the percents, and they've actually worked out pretty well. So that helps, save time, but not ideal managing. I might get fired for that, but we'll see. Oh, I had a DNP with Cucho. Yeah, my Philly boys went off, and I didn't have a keeper because Blake didn't play with them. So yeah. Daniel, what's happening? Let's go in the house. Ronan, shout out to you for the special edition. Yeah, that was both of them, the Amiri too. So those were both all you. So can we just do another stream of just opening? That's hilarious. I'm gonna post the link real quick. Sorry, and then I'll get my screen up here. We'll get Sorare probabilities loaded up. We'll go through the game week. We'll go through any questions you guys might have. And yeah, I feel good. I feel good that my lineups are done. Lewis, I'm sure you feel the same way. Yeah, he does all of England. So he feels the pain too. It's like your actual lineups. Lewis, you making any buys by chance? want you to, spill if you're still looking, but any new pickups? I booked a holiday for the next one. I love it. Love it. Why not just throw it in MLS General? See who'll come in, right? Yeah, let's do that. I'll probably get blocked for actually putting a link in there, but oh well. Because I think I should have put it in the streams one. Oh well. Daniel Cooper, what's happening? I'm doing well. Feel great. I got one more thing of content left to do. With the short game week, I just couldn't do the Deeks Diamonds. But I have my Who Scored previews that I got to get to. That'll be a tomorrow thing. But I'm ready for the weekend. For sure, and just kind of hanging out and just watching, just relaxing. Maybe a little Friday night action. Just hit export on the button. That's what I do. Just hit export, baby. Just sim to end my game week. Oh, in-season Prem team is coming. Haven't decided which one yet. Love it. I'm looking for. I mean, I can tell you who I'm looking for, but looking for a Bundesliga keeper in season. Things you just hate to see. But that would give me a lot of flexibility to play that in season, then play a classic season card that I want to play also. So that's what I'm going for. Just trying to get promoted. That's basically my strategy in the in season. I just want to get promoted. So I got a few promotions, which is great. You love it, and kind of go from there. So yeah, beautiful. Thank you everyone for coming in. As always. Sorry, the server probabilities is loading up here. Comp scores are crazy. To be honest, I didn't even put a team in. I thought you needed cards to play it. That's how I tuned out, I guess I am, that I didn't even put lineups into it. Guess you can't win if you don't put a lotto ticket in, right? I'm only getting a box from 470 points. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Let's party. All right. Oh, I didn't even hit the button. Yeah, Steve Clark did his usual of conceding one goal. Yeah, they kind of blew that one. Has 2 points that they might miss coming down the stretch here for that draw. Orjano conceding that penalty kind of derailed my one lineup that had a good chance, but very happy with the game week just based on how it turned out. Gonna have like $80 coming in. I'm gonna spend that as soon as it comes in, as usual. But yeah, in season, trying to milk that last little bit of rewards from MLS before we get into playoffs. And Carl's Hill's not in there, and I've loved it. Yeah, Anderson Julio with the perfect shot on pause. Yeah, that was whenever I was doing my lineups. Anderson Julio is a tricky. He played so well that it's really hard to keep him out of the lineup, and he could definitely start. But Chicho coming back from suspension is a no-brainer. They rotated a lot of people like Luna. They rotated Gonzalez. A lot of rotation, so there's just nowhere to play him. So I kind of struggle with that a little bit, but I've been very, very impressed with what he does. And they were talking on MLS 360 he's one of the better backup strikers, and I wholeheartedly believe and agree with that. If I'd use Moreno or Mora in either of my Portland stacks, they're about 200 pounds at 30 and a star over a tier 2. I was sold on Ala hype. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Moreno popped off because decisive plus nice AA. Evander, obviously, just 100 king. Yeah, there's some high scores out there. Late night hammer too with your Portland stack. It's tough. It's tough for sure. Do you see the last 10 to 15? Yeah. So I got home from hockey practice and it was probably like the last 10 to 15 minutes. That's when I like just turned it on. And it looked like, a kid's soccer game when they were just like no one playing a position, just running back and forth. Pretty hysterical actually. Just like it was just like, okay, there are zero tactics. One team gets the ball, they run. Seemed like Sabo was just down that left flank because he usually doesn't play the left side, and playing that left flank with Jean Silva out, and he was just open over and over again. So that's kind of hilarious. But yeah, that was fun from a neutral since I don't like either of the teams, or not like, but you know what I mean. Dino Cooper going to be a late night. I'm still at work and haven't built any lineups yet. Your streams help massively. I appreciate that. Late night for us here too. So still at work though, man. Godspeed there. Yeah, I'll always be this way though. Like, if I can, I like doing it the day of. I know it's like a sick thing, but like if I like in the summer, I would build in the morning, just kind of fresh, So like whenever the button went down that one day I was at work and I was trying to get them in before work started, I'm like, I guess I'm just going to manually try and get as many as I can in. So that was kind of like the negative of waiting, but night before kind of thing is kind of where I'm at with that. Question for everyone. You guys using the Sorare predictions percents? Good news, bad news. I saw a little bit of data on it, and surprisingly, like the percent correct wasn't terrible on some of the leagues I was looking at. They were actually pretty solid. But sort of probabilities do this thing where, the amount of people that were predicted out of the lineup, they kind of botched that. And I was just kind of looking on Twitter, just seeing some of them, like Franco Escobar was one of them. He's not injured or anything. He was just out the previous game. So it's like he was showing up as 0%, and like someone had their lineup in. They're like, oh, he's 0%. And it's kind of throwing around a lot of like panic. Whenever you see that, you're like, oh, wait, what's wrong with him? And I don't think it's like the worst thing, just because maybe double check that player, do your own research. That's not the worst thing. You have to realize, and this is just like what I think, I don't know if this is the right thing, but those get more accurate like right before lock. Like right now, they're still not accurate. I haven't looked, but I just assume all the expert or whatever they want to use, the league prediction experts, kind of go for that. So I don't really know. I was doing my lineups midweek and I was like, yeah, this guy's definitely starting. This is not right. And that was right before lock because I opened it up right before lock. So it can throw off a little bit of wrong advice there. I can't wait for the international week. It's going to be such a mess. People are going to be like, well, he was 90% start on international. It's going to be a nightmare. So we have another international break coming up here. So that'll be crazy. Jay Blaze, what's up? Let's go. What's happening? Sorry to do your New York City team like that. I did not expect that. When you build, for me, use this up until 2. Okay, yeah. All right, after. Okay. Escobar will be people filling straight in when he DMP'd. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he had yellow card accumulation, didn't play. You see a lot of that, and then it does even out with those. So, like, how many people are actually like on the site a minute before or like, an hour before trying to figure it out, which can be a little bit tricky to say the least. I think I already set the upcoming game week, but we'll do it again and we'll jump into where to play our players. I don't know if anyone watched. I assume everyone in here because it's the best podcast out there, but sort of data show with Laird and Harry. They're talking about contest selection. And I thought it was really interesting how, you attack it because everyone attacks it completely different, which is awesome. Since I do this every stream, this is not like just because there's more rewards in there. This doesn't take into consideration like how many stars there are. So like I always suggest definitely looking if you're into that kind of thing. But some of this stuff just speaks for itself, like for the cash. La Liga 1, here we go at rare. Let's start at limited, actually. Just like to start at limited. Same deal, 177%. And just like those predictions, I usually, if I can, like an hour before, just to see did anything change marginally. Like 45 lineups and 80 rewards is absolutely insane. So like if you have your La Liga, if 5%ers here, hopefully get back into D1, or you had multiple. I can't remember how many D1s you had before, but that's a nice prize pool. 5K split up amongst 80 people. Yeah, that's great. Bundesliga, same thing, 119%. Everyone's getting a reward right now. And then the box breakdown. I'm sorry, I can't reference who it was, but someone on Twitter did a full breakdown of all the different boxes, like your 5-star, your 4-star, etc. And I thought that was awesome. That was like, because a lot of times I'm just like, oh, sweet, a box. I don't really care. But I thought like looking at that, actually seeing what I could get, because I was just like, oh, I just want essence. And then it's like, oh, I pulled a market credit for like $20 last game week. And I was like, I did not see that coming. That's cool. Can't wait to use that. Have you tried to set up Sorare Inside notifications? I don't have it working yet. I haven't done anything with that just yet. So yeah, I haven't done anything with that yet. And I don't actually know if I will. Because my like phone blows up just because I have so many like beat writer tweets on notifications that like I kind of want less things on my notifications. So I think I think it's a great tool, but I think for me, I almost need to just like tune out. Like at night, I don't know if anyone puts their phone on do not disturb, but I'm a do not disturb guy just because my phone will buzz and my wife will yell at me, or if I'm out on the road on a hockey trip, my buddies that I coach with will be like, dude, you got to just turn off your phone. And yeah. Building a cap 200 with all 90% or greater. I mean, you're in it, but yeah, I haven't looked at that. I haven't looked at that, but I feel like I have some players that fit that very well. I don't think they're going to be 90%. I think they're just stinkers that have like 70% to start. Sean John in Toronto, what could have been? Insigne just kind of yanking himself off. Just not a good look. Not a good look all around. So as we keep going down through here. Again, this is Sorare probably. Oh, whoa, I'm on the wrong. Okay. I think we're good now. Let's try this again. It's on my wrong page and it just blew up. So La Liga, Bundesliga, we talked about La Liga 2 is up there, 78%. Man, if you have a La Liga, I started to get into La Liga. I scouted it. I had a team ready to buy, and then I was like, I'm going to go Bundesliga instead. My knowledge, I would say out of the 3 that have leagues, like have individual competitions, it's just by far, I'm not saying I know a ton about the other ones, but La Liga, I just don't know. Outside of like your Real Madrids, your Barcelona, and then a few obscure players, like I just don't know enough. It's Hershey. Let's go. Going well here. Feeling good. How you doing? Champ in season 1. Yeah. So obviously it's always going to be ones. Like they structured it this way. It's hard to get into D1. It's hard to stay in D1. That's a good thing. A lot of people gripe about the divisions. I think it's legit. Like I think it should reward the people that are, trying to get up there. Caveat to that would be, your smaller galleries. It can be hard. You know how you have to have the perfect matchup, and then let's say you smash in D4, it just takes away the ceiling. Like even if you outscore the D1 guys, it just takes away the ceiling. I will say that I'm a little biased just because I've been in D1 and it's fallen to me in a good way. So I am a little bit biased there. Will, what's happening? With Bundesliga, you won't have too many games played midweek. That won't be covered in a division like La Liga this week and furthermore down. That's good to know too. So there was only a few, right? A few games there. And that's the worst. So that's kind of like the Leagues Cup feeling, where it's just like, okay, I can't even play these players. Just abandon Leagues Cup one time, so we can't. I just no more midweeks, please. Let's go under 23 D1 podium. Let's go. Oh, that's gonna be an awesome rewards day. I bet you can't wait for tomorrow. Oh, that's just the best feeling. I love cash. Obviously, I love cash, but there's no better feeling than being ready. Okay, what's my card reward going to be? And then hopefully not being let down. The best one that I had was my Cap 270. I got second place. First place got Harry Kane. I got Delit. That sucks, but it was great. And then the other ones have just been cash. It happens a lot in La Liga. It's good to know. It's good to know. So yeah, that feels good. What on earth do we have? Eredivisie, I believe. Yeah, here we go. That special is at a 10%. Solid. I mean, you're looking at the prize pool. The prize pool is huge. The top end is huge. That's what we're going after. And then the cap 200, you're looking at 6%, but you're going to have a ton of DNPs with people just trying to, pick up stuff, just cheap players that hopefully get a sub appearance. So if you're like MLS Sorare Scout there, you might have a chance with the right players. I know it doesn't feel good to have those players in your gallery, but I can't wait to see what I have. I might even start there whenever I do just to see what I have and be able to use those guys, but we'll see. PSV special, that is 100% or Feyenoord. Holy rack them up. AZ as well. So, I mean, they have teams that are smashers. I haven't looked at any matchups yet, so we'll get into that next. But it should be a PSV special because, I mean, they have so many good players as far as SO5 scoring that it's nuts. In-season challengers should be good for our MLS boys. Absolutely. Take all the PSV guys out. Take them out. Yeah, that's so kind of into my thinking. It was like maybe 3 weeks ago. I picked up Carlos Hill, Diego Rossi, several players. Hector Herrera, rest in peace. What a bad pickup because he got hurt. But I picked up these guys, and I did look ahead to these game weeks with there being a standalone that I won some cash in midweek, another standalone this midweek, won some more cash. So I am kind of getting a little bit back, and they were so cheap, it just made sense. And I've always wanted Carlos Hill, just did. So next year having a classic him, that's fine. These guys I wanted, so it wasn't like anything crazy as far as like I'm trying to recoup right now. I mean, I'm keeping these guys. So that was kind of my thinking. And then whenever this also was announced, you take all those cards out, we're really just battling ourselves, which again, in the right matchups, that's great for MLS. That's great for a chance to get, another chunk. Like getting $80 back. I know it's like, if you calculate it, it's like, okay, this guy scored 20% of my points, 20% of the reward, whatever you want to do. But like Carlos Hill, I mean, if you look at his NCs, I know it's different. 134. I mean, I bought the top, but these are in season, right? So the in season is running out. So be it. But right now at 134, in these couple weeks, I think I got 2 cash rewards with him. Not last week, obviously, with his lineup, but 2 cash rewards. And I have 80 coming in now. So like in theory of that, I could buy another one if I wanted, right? Just from those returns. So I don't think it's the worst idea. And that's kind of my strategy. I wouldn't listen to me about any financial strategy on the game. It's just, I like competing, and I just felt like down the stretch it would help. All right. Let's get into rare because that's what I play. Yeah. What do you know? La Liga. La Liga, and then Bundesliga number 1. Under 23 ones up there, 28% right now. So some of these guys, like some of these PSV guys, Eredivisie, them not being in there, pretty big. Yeah, looking forward to it. I believe I'm up to 3 in Bundesliga. I'm pretty sure I got promoted. I'll have to check to see. That was kind of my goal, get promoted in Bundesliga. I got a box. A lot of good things. Get promoted. And I'm not sure what my strategy is. If it's not a good matchup. So like I have a bunch of Stuttgart cards. You don't have great matchups coming up. It's kind of hit or miss. Real Madrid was tough, but thinking of just like, okay, you have those 3 D4s and rare to start. Try and get 3 to D3, and then if it's capable of competing in D3, try and go for D2, and then again keep kind of moving them up. That's what I did basically in MLS. I did start, with, I forget, like a D1, D2, D3, whatever it was. But for a while there, I had 3 D1s, which was great. I think I got relegated a little bit, but it is what it is. Yeah, so let's look at the special comps, and then we'll get into other stuff. So we have Eredivisie, 13.92%, almost 11,000 prize pool. Very good. Yeah, cool. And then cap 200, 4,000 lineups, 6.68%, 281 rewards. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what you're expecting on these specials. It's tough, but there's an edge to be had. I haven't really looked at like if there's 0 cap players, but like 200 is pretty low. Back with 220, pretty low. It's pretty tough. 200 makes it a little bit even more tough, and gets our card some utility that we never planned on using. Hey, Fabio, how you doing? Fabio over on Twitter says, hello. Blake's still injured. Yes, he is. So here's my thinking on that. We're probably not going to hear before lock, just based on what Wednesday was. I think we see Andrew Rick again because they have a full week off after, and it would make sense not to rush him back. I don't know the status of the groin adductor, whatever you want to call it. It's just I can't see him playing on this quick turnaround. He is training, but like, for example, Rick was training with the first team, and then Blake and like Semla were on the side, not training with the first team. I think that stays the same. Rick's fine. He's obviously not Blake, but it's more important to have Blake ready, especially that was a big result, getting those 3 points and sneaking back into that playoff wild card spot. I mean, it would be nice to get out of that wild card spot, but I'd take the extra game of utility at this point. Sorry, we'll get to it. Likely have to run a DMP. Yeah. That also makes sense. DMP, and then maybe hope for a sub appearance type of thing, or just straight DMP might happen as well. Semla got ran out of town. Several bad performances in a row. Should have sold whenever I had him. His goalkeeper rare was like $150. I kept him, just keeping it 0. But I did win that competition D1 in season with him. So he'll forever stay in my gallery as usual. Do you see the images of what FC Dallas's renovated stadium will be? I did not. I have not seen that. I'll definitely take a look at that. Andy, what's happening? I will definitely get in depth. Andre Blake's a big piano player, so I'm sure I can find my way whenever he is least expecting it. So we'll make sure we get that going. Cap 200 should be the Dante Van Zier. Yeah, what could have been? I thought he was going to smash in the MLS. Like, I thought like year 2 he would have a huge year. Nope. Red Bull's just same old offense. We'll see when Emil comes back, but yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, you'll have to check out the Jamaican team. He plays like John Legend songs, and like they're singing it, and like not bad. It's one of his like big hobbies that he like got into late in life, I guess. But yeah, big piano player. Definitely want to follow the socials for the Jamaican national team. Always worth a look. Um, him and Damian Lowe just hanging around the piano, the boys, just boys being boys. Love it. Will, we kind of just talked on that before you got in here. So Escobar, that was like the one that was being sent to me. He was out with yellow card accumulation, so I assume just some of it's from that projection. They're like, oh, he's not in the squad, put him for again. I think that'll get a little bit better. I watched because the one nice thing is, okay, this guy is showing up as 0. Why? It kind of makes sense to go through and, okay, do some little research on, okay, why is he showing up as a 0 or whatever his percent is. I watched his post-game interview. He's fine. He answered all the questions. No injury. Yeah. Daniel wished you could run a full Philly stack. Yeah. Andre Blake would be nice to have in there. My one lineup, Philly went off and I had all decisives, and then Orjano ended up having a negative decisive to kind of even it out. But I had Semla in there just because I didn't have another in-season goalie to make it work. But it was kind of funny before that Orjano PK. I was in the mix. I was probably going to get a reward, which is hysterical that Semla just kept doing it. I didn't think he was going to start. It was just, don't know what I just did, but no data available. That's probably not. There we go. We're back. All right, let's get into fixtures. I know I've been kind of taking forever here, but hey, we got nothing but time, right? Let's get after the Eredivisie special because, and I do want to, yeah, it just does win home, win away. I do want to touch on it because Feyenoord is huge. Am I not seeing PSV? No. I'm like on looking at home, they're away. They're 82%, only 82% against Fortuna Sittard. Feyenoord is the biggest favorite in a really good matchup, obviously. Utrecht against Willem. Somebody's a big Willem guy in one of the Discords I'm in. I think it was the MLS Major League Soccer or Major League Sorare Discord. Is that anyone in here? I feel like it might have been. But I love whenever you get like a reward or something or like you craft a card, then it ends up you love that team and you start putting together teams and oh man, nothing better than that. Heerenveen after the absolute blowout against AZ. Go ahead's been tough going against Ajax. Can you trust Ajax? They're coming off a nice win. They had a nice little standalone midweek. Kenneth Taylor, he smashed. That was nice for my under 23s that the rest of the lineup let down. But good to see him scoring well. He'll probably be out of the squad this weekend, though. Maybe. Or on the bench, I should say. So that's all I'm looking at there. I will not be playing this. I do have enough cards to play this, I believe, in season, but I just can't see myself trying to play against PSV. I'd rather play my cards elsewhere. Worst case scenario, maybe at some point as a throwaway, just throw it in there, lottery ticket. But I don't know, not my thing. Up top here, MLS. So I did wanted to definitely go through this because the odds never fail to amaze me. But then again, I'm wrong about a lot, obviously. The odds are the odds for a reason. But you have Colorado Rapids against Toronto. I get that. Okay. Charlotte against New England. I don't get. I've backed Charlotte way too much. And this is probably the one that the get right game, but I've backed them way too much because they've had that easy schedule down the stretch. But they stink. They flat out stink. They decided to get Tim Ream and blow up that back line. By blow up, just put him in there. That was phenomenal. Andrew Privet doesn't play anymore. Put him back in. Get Ream out of there. I'm not saying it's all his fault. It's just like, what are we doing? That back line was invincible for how long? I know it's a game of runs, but crazy. You have them tied with the New York Red Bulls, who have not won, I don't know, War of 1812. It's been a really long time. They play Atlanta. Atlanta, boy, they punched Inter Miami in the mouth, and they gave them a great match. So I'm not writing them out either. Yeah, I know the odds are the odds for a reason, but I don't know if I can trust these teams at the top, which opens up the game week for everybody else, which could be very, very interesting. Yeah, since Leagues Cup, they've been terrible. So as Daniel said, Philadelphia against DC. DC is not the easiest matchup, but they're going through some injuries. Bartlett's suspended. Danya, whoever, or however you say that, he is the expert. He was the DC expert on Play Sharper. I reached out to him, or he reached out to me, actually, flip side, and he is taking over the Sorare Inside expert there. So he has a little bit of insight to the club, which I clearly do not have, and that's huge. So welcome him to the team. I appreciate him. And then the other one's going to be Sporting Kansas City, who they have. It's a tough one to be in as far as this game week, but that's Alex. A lot of you guys know Sorare in the States. That is Alex from there. He's a big Sporting Kansas City. He might be the only Sporting Kansas City fan. Just kidding. But he's taking over, and he has a very tall task of predicting their lineup the weekend before the U.S. Open Cup final, which they are going to be resting no idea who. I took my best shot at it over on Predictorfy, but I don't feel confident about mine at all. I like his. I checked it out, and yeah, there's a lot of question marks. Melia was the big question, and we kind of have both have the same kind of thinking. I didn't see Polskamp playing just because I kind of wrote it off. I didn't think about it, but with him playing that match, that gives a small break for him just to rest. Then he gets this match on the weekend and then the midweek. So it wouldn't make sense for him to not play 2 games. And Alex touched on that in his notes. And that was kind of my thinking as well. So it's always nice whenever like you're thinking and someone else is thinking on the same topic match up. So then it means we should probably be both right. David Ov, what's happening? Thanks for joining. LAFC, very disappointing. Yeah, they look like world beaters first half against LA Galaxy, and then you saw what happened. Then the LA Galaxy, had some rotations. But whenever Cirillo doesn't play, which is crazy from like the Dallas game, whenever Cirillo doesn't play, boy, defensively, they just struggle so bad. I love Ricky Puig more than probably anyone should, and he just doesn't do anything defensively. I mean, he plays, box to box, but doesn't play well defensively. And then if you have like Delgado on the other side, or you play Delgado and Brugman, it's just not the same. It's back to the issues that they had last season. You bring in Cirillo, he plays, and if they're going to play Royce and Ricky together, he has to be in that lineup. It doesn't make any sense unless like you throw either Royce or Ricky at a false 9. Like it just doesn't play out. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's crazy how big he is to their team, just like tactically, which is kind of crazy. Just thinking they basically got him for nothing from Dallas last year. I can't remember what the trade-off was. Here he is. Daniel's here. Yeah, DC presser comes out tomorrow since the game is Sunday. Yeah, so I mentioned about Alex coming in on a tough one. He's also coming in on a tough one. So not getting the information, flying blind is so tough. And yeah, the Philly game is on Saturday, as you can see here, 23rd, which is pretty brutal. So yeah. Oak Brett boys, let's go. Daniel, yeah, agreed. They could use him for sure, especially with all the injuries and just how they look defensively. Yeah, no, it just hurts. Yeah, hurts for sure. Cirillo is playing center back. Was he playing center back at Dallas? or did that just start whenever he played a couple? I don't know why I can tell you right now. If you don't know or don't have this, this is free. I put this together. This is countless hours, absolute countless hours of basically just data entry. I could do it an easier way, but this is how I remember it. But I have this year and last year. So if we go to Dallas, and then you scroll down and you have them, it was less. I try to add something every year to make it a little bit better. But let's see. Cirillo, yeah. Oh, okay. Or I could just ask Daniel. But it's here as well. Yeah, so the Galaxy was where that happened. So let's see. Was that this year or was that last year? That was the tail end of last year, wasn't it? Where he played one right center back, one right back here this year. Then last year, whenever he joined, it was all midfield. So that was just that stint this year. But yeah, this is in my Twitter pin tweet, not bio, pin tweet. And, I think it helps me exponentially just to kind of pick up everything. But I might have a typo here and there. I do put notes of stuff as well. It's like a week and a half away for Julian Aude. I just try to, anytime I get news, that's kind of what I do. So that's in my Twitter. Definitely worth it. Let's see where next. Do you think Gazdag rotates? Yeah, that could be possible. I have him in the starting lineup. He's fine physically. He's had some knocks, but him not going on international duty, I think, was positive, just for him to get fully healthy. With their rotation, the right mid or right side of that triangle, right side of that diamond, goes Bedoya, then Quinn Sullivan, and vice versa. It's Quinn Sullivan's turn, so he'll be on that right side, and he's a guy that could play that attacking mid. I don't like McGlynn as much there. He, as far as SF5, he just doesn't score as well. You would think he'd score pretty well in a number 10 role, but the couple times he's played, he just hasn't played that well. But even he might rotate. I think he's more risky just because what's happened lately with him. His scores have been down. It's been a bummer. But his intro is still going to be on here. Yeah, Charlotte getting some stinky end of season form. Yeah, they're just falling apart. That's for sure. He's playing in front of two of Hedges. Yeah, that's right. Pivot would be good. Yeah. In the pivot. Yeah. I mean, he has midfielder cards. So I always thought it was funny because I didn't know much about him. Didn't see him in college or anything. But him having a midfielder card and just being a center back was always funny. Started watching in 2022. I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember. JVic, do I think Messi starts? I do think Messi starts. Might be a little bit more bullish than others, but yeah, I think he starts. He is going to be on the trip. No turf. I think the turf monster scared them off a little bit, and plus, congested fixtures and not wanting to overdo it. I'll be an Evander expert if you need. Yeah. I thought you were going to say Portland expert, and I was going to say we've gotten pretty good at listening to that snake and then kind of translate what that means. So he's definitely not going to play, Evander. Oh, he played and he went 90. So it's good to we need a little bit of translation with our boy out in Portland. Other ones that are interesting. So we talked about Dallas. So away favorites at the bottom here. LAFC 45%. Cincy, Nashville's coming on. Just when you thought they were out, they come back in. Hani Mukhtar left the last match. He has to be subbed. Did I write that in here? I don't know if I actually copied it over because I was at work. Yeah, I did. Okay. So again, here's why I use the sheet. If you can see it over my head, yeah. Asked to come off. Could have been fatigue. Callahan said they'd know Thursday. Haven't heard anything today, and that presser is tomorrow after lock. So if you have Hani, there's some risk there. But they've been in really good form. So that's a team to watch. I was really hoping that they wouldn't make the playoffs because of my preseason preview. That was like one of my bold calls that they wouldn't make the playoffs. So I'm hoping it's crazy that was a bold call now. Some of my other bold calls I don't want to talk about. Transfers happen and it's some terrible calls. LA Galaxy being one of the best teams was a good call. FC Dallas being a title contender was a really bad call. That's on me. I'm going to blame it on injuries and them, not me. Oh, you'll be at the game, Daniel. Let's go. Watch Giroud. Giroud's really killed the team, to be honest with you. Bouanga and Lloris. Love to hear it, though. Yeah, sweet. Nothing like seeing something in person. I was over in Pittsburgh Sunday coaching. And if you've ever been in Pittsburgh, the Fort Pitt Bridge kind of goes through the city right over the water, and you come around the turn, and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, it's a USL team. Their stadium's right on the other side of the river. It's picturesque, Highmark Stadium. Always a great see. If you've never been to Pittsburgh, just Google Pittsburgh pictures. If you're coming over that bridge, like from Pittsburgh out of the tunnel, oh man, the left side, you have your Heinz Field. I'll still always call it Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium, where the Steelers play. If you're into that kind of thing, just beautiful. Love those views of Pittsburgh. Let Pies know that. Do you see Esmar leaving the Revs and going to Europe end of the season, next offseason? He has some murmurs. I could see like the same Noel Buck type of thing where they see the potential. And, with him being in the Bosnia and Herzegovina national team, getting more eyes on him, he is very talented. You just watch his highlight reel of Megs, then you know for sure that he has the talent. I just don't know if he's going to move now. Like, I don't know how concrete the kind of interest is. I just know he's on a lot of radars. It might be like a Jack McGlynn type where it's like, yeah, they're monitoring him, but he may have like another full year. But yeah, that's tough. Yeah. Yeah. If Tommy Scoops did it, I'm in good company. I mean, it's at the end of the day, we don't know. There's so many variables that come with this. So like me writing my articles on RotoWire. So at the end of the season, I'm going to go back through them and grade myself. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be ugly. A lot of it's going to be ugly because if you weren't familiar with the season, I highlighted one. I forget what even the categories was. One was like one for the future. So like one that would take a leap. Like Baraktarovic was my one for the Revs. So that actually was good. He was a guy that was high on. But that'll be fun to just kind of see. But like, in these transfer windows, the teams completely change, injuries, that kind of thing. So saw Messi live last night. Face melted like seeing her. That's hilarious. That's great. Yeah. So if you guys know MLS Card Guy, he is the original Riverhound. There's nothing better than a little Riverhound action, baby. So yeah, if you know MLS Card Guy, he works for them, right? Let's go and just kind of see champion. This is more for, it's for everyone, obviously, but this is kind of more for me because I'm trying to get acclimated with the slate because I have done zero research pretty much on any of the matchups. I've just been flying by the seat of my pants. basically, and doing lineup predictions from last night into today. So let's see what we got. One thing that I knew was this Brighton, because I knew I had back-to-back Brighton. Chris works for the Riverhounds. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because whenever they made the U.S. Open Cup run last year, I wanted to get over to that one match, but it ended up I didn't get tickets for it. They like sold out like that, and I was at work, and I tried to snag one, but that was a really fun run to watch them do well. Bring back the U.S. Open Cup, get rid of Leagues Cup. That's my mantra. I don't want to see it anymore. Just fatigued from Leagues Cup and just yuck. Too much. But Brighton's playing Forest, which is solid for me. At the top, Real Madrid. What are these Champions League teams going to look like rotation-wise? The deep squads all around, but pretty much with the new structure of Champions League, all these teams are playing in it. If you look at that table, I was just like, there are so many teams in this Champions League. It's very watered down at the bottom. You're getting all your good teams. Monaco had a huge result today against Barcelona. Early red card, Eric Garcia. So that was interesting. They have a nice results. Leverkusen, Liverpool, Real Madrid, all these teams in it. Atalanta played well. Tottenham. All these teams, pretty much all these teams, are going to have rotation. So that's tough. You don't really know what you're getting. City Arsenal is going to be obviously the marquee matchup of the weekend. I'm ecstatic for that, just as a neutral, just to watch that. That's going to be awesome. Just to see, can Arsenal get a result on the road against City? And yeah, Daniel, you're a Spurs fan. Yeah. Southampton. It's the Southampton week. I thought it was Brighton's week against Ipswich, and they didn't do it. So, yeah, interesting. Some of those matchups. We'll go into Challenger just really quick. Oh, the old 93% for Lisbon. That's just outrageous. AVS, I'll be honest, I've never heard of that club. They must have gotten promoted this year, or I just haven't, or I haven't watched. But yeah, Tottenham and good don't mix. Harsh, but probably right. No, De Bruyne gives Arsenal a chance. Yeah, that could be huge. Absolutely. And it's usually low scoring. Yeah. Can't actually. Oh. So just kind of briefly looking at this, I was just kind of thinking of the teams that aren't MLS, that we're going to have to deal with having in-season cards that aren't Eredivisie. There's not much, which is great. But the team at the top is probably what's going to kill everybody. Let's hope that they rotate. Ivan Ignacio from them, he was injured after 13 minutes at the midweek. So that is terrible for a team that just, churns out clean sheets and scores 3 goals. And as Fabio says here, Victor is an absolute scoring machine. He has been unbelievable. Do we think he gets the move? He had so many rumors to clubs in the summer window. Do you think he gets a winter transfer? If he keeps this up, somebody's going to pay something stupid. I would think, but yeah, Daniel Cooper says 5 goals by halftime. Yeah, seriously, he could. The old Corinthians boys. I love that I have several cards for Corinthians just because MLS players all go there. Jose Martinez and they have Diego Palacios as well, who's been hurt and haven't been able to use his cards since leaving LAFC. But Corinthians is pretty funny. Just some of the Brazilian teams. It's like, oh, I didn't know that guy went there. It's kind of funny to me. But other than that, we don't have any huge. So I'm rolling out my Talis Magno as well. It's nice to be able to use him again since I paid the absolute top for him. Don't want to talk about it too much, but it's nice to get a little bit of utility out of him. He's way too good for the Portuguese league. But let's for all of our MLS people in here, let's take it down, because this is might as well be a standalone. I just don't see why you would play. I mean, game theory wise, sure, throw in your PSV stack if you have D1 in season. That's a good differential play. But are people actually going to do that whenever the prize pool for Eredivisie just kind of makes sense to put your best players in there? I think it's going to be a big opportunity for us as MLS players, or we'll see, or we could be very wrong, and the sporting stacks just take down everything, and we did our best. And let's take a look at contender. Zenit up top. It's always fun to look at these teams because it's like, it's like the same teams every time, almost. Did Dynamo Zagreb fire their coach today or in the last couple of days? Did I see that? Just thinking from the Croatian league. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I could have sworn I saw that. Rijeka, I had their stack for their limited. I was going to do a series on it, and I didn't record anything. I got very lazy last year and did not end up doing it. But I bought an in-season Rijeka team, and I got a podium with them, actually, which is pretty funny. But I didn't record the videos. Just got too lazy. But trying to this year's goal is to stay steady on the content, just so that like these streams, I have a lot of fun with them too. So Ryan, what's happening? You really want a Portland kit, but US to UK shipping is going to cost my gallery. Yeah. Have you ever heard of DHgate? It's China. Shipping is relatively cheap to the US, so you can get like a kit shipped for, I've gotten some for like $40 shipped. It takes a little bit to get through customs. But yeah, DHgate is the GOAT. That's where I get all my jerseys. I'm a cheapskate. They look good though. Like let's see if I have this Philly. I mean, this is a DHgate special. It looks legit, but yeah, I mean, some little kid put this together by hand, but I mean, I paid him like 8 cents to do it, so I'm contributing. But yeah, DHgate. That's check that out. I don't know about other countries, but that's where I get everything. Literally every jersey I feel like I've ever bought. Single-handedly keeping them in business. Let's go, Daniel. You're promoting him on Sarah Andrews today. I'm behind on my podcast a little bit. I gotta get a listen in, but that's hysterical. Little kid making him cry. Yeah, I mean, there's definite. You don't really know what's going on there, but they have a great facility, great health benefits. So I'm just contributing. I heard 20% of the funds go to villages somewhere. So just helping feed the kids. Yeah, absolutely. Cavan made the jersey. No, he's too old to make the jersey. Kids need to be younger to make the jerseys. DHgate. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't get banned for promoting DHgate, but DHgate is legit. It might smell a little funky, or you might have like a cockroach in the packaging, but it's worth it. I've had them come where they're completely ripped open, like customs ripped them open, because they kind of do look like something very shady, and with all like Chinese writing on it. They've been ripped open, and then they see that, these are just jerseys, like off-brand jerseys that some kids made with their bare hands. But they've all been legit. My buddy, he had one, and like they misspelled something, like it was a player's name, and like they completely botched it. But for me, I've never had any issues. I've ordered from a bunch of different sellers, but that's I got that Philly kit. I got an LAFC one. I got a bunch of kits. They all came perfect. You just got to watch washing them too much because then they kind of, stuff peels off. But you don't pay for the quality. You pay for the, how cheap they are. Might put some Burnley guys in 220. There you go. Good matchup. Trying to think. Monterrey. I don't know if anyone follows the GameX. They struggled with Juarez last night. They had a red card. They won 3-2. I was following that one. Had a little round robin going with them. Yeah, the dryer absolutely kills them. So, you just got to stink them out. And okay, the dryer's the one that nukes them. Yeah, that makes sense. I have an NFL one where the Nike check is mirrored on the other arm, so it's backward. Maybe it's supposed to be that way. You never know. Never know. We did talk about Blake. I'll go over it again for sure. So Blake, groin adductor, whatever you want to call it. It just doesn't make sense for him to play on this short kind of quick turnaround. I'd say like a week. So like after this weekend, they have a week off. I know they don't play till Sunday, which gives them an extra day, but it just makes sense to give them that full week. And then hopefully he comes back. Hopefully, but we'll at least know. Right now, we're just kind of in the dark. So, yeah. Former River coach is at Monterey now. Yeah, good stuff there. I'm not a League MX expert. It's just I had him in a round robin, so naturally I was watching. Sickos. Javik, my kid made that. Dyslexia, it happens. Let's check out. Let's go over Sorare data. I already have it open actually. I'm always curious about under 23s. Naturally, see what kind of goalies we're looking at, top matchups, things like that, and then maybe see if we got any like nice cap 200 plays. BVV, a decent cap 200 play. I keep saying 220. I keep saying 240. Man, 200 is tough to get there. But first off, let's go to under 23. Just, I'm always curious who's the top ones. Like, is it going to be Trubin, who it usually is, and then kind of see who we have from there. So, you got Bart against Force, which is good. $72 for, man, we're back. $72 for a limited. Never a great sign when you have like 8 under 23 keepers and you haven't seen any yet. So that's great. There we go. We have Hadel and Urbig, and then Lamans and then Schulte. So we're getting there. Interesting. Atubolu, they playing Heidenheim. Yeah. Interesting. You also have Rosenborg. Can't be trusted. Yeah. I think I have Raitan there. Got Ocampos and Torres at Monterey. Matches look good. Nice. Okay, let's get funky here. Let's go to All-Star. Again, we still have some time, so it's probably better to do this tomorrow. But what do you guys think? Like a 30? We'll go 40. We'll go 40 and under. See if there's any significant ones like that Karnasekji. Could be interesting. I feel like with Champions League, if you know the leagues and you know like who might rotate, you could get some really nice ones there. Oh my, this is a name I haven't heard in forever. I used to have him. This is gonna be sick. Let's look at limited. I had him forever ago. Yes, I did. Let's go. Look at this graph. I think the one profit I ever took. This is limiteds, by the way. So if you weren't in a while ago, this was disgusting. I picked him up for 348, sold him for 469. As he was about to fall off a cliff, he was out of the team. As for Zenit, and then here we are today. So. dhgate.com. Yeah, definitely give it a look. Not the slightest shady bit at all. It's all good. Golden era of limiteds. Yeah. So if you weren't around, when was this? 2022. Yeah, August 2022. The old, you hold them for a month, you pick them up, while he was at the top, just huge. But that's crazy. He's Rostev. So he just kind of fell off place. I think he was like 18 or 19. I guess he would have been 19. So sorry, I got off a tangent because I saw him and I'm like, whoa, that is hysterical because I haven't seen that name and it just hit me. Augsburg, the former Rijeka, right? How's he doing? Solid. It's good to see he's starting. Nice. I had him last year. He was great. So some low caps here for him at 24 is against Mainz is huge. So that's interesting. Not terrible. So like if you have him, legit unsane in the membrane against Club America, that's not exactly what you're looking for, but you should get some AA as long as he doesn't get the guillotine. But America's struggling a little bit from what it looks like. Not a Liga, MX guy is what Campos just talked about earlier, right? Bulot for Westerlo. Yes. Some actually decent goalies in here that are pretty low. Chris Brady in there, obviously. So if you have stinkers of goalies, which I do, you might be in good shape. Like Paul Nardi here at QPR. It's just Barraza will not start. Do not go after him. Ethan Horvath. USA. Ah, beautiful. All right, so definitely some options for goalkeepers. I'm just sorting by pick score. Nothing crazy here at all. And it's just kind of going off pick score. Maxo's 39, doesn't have a ton of upside. He's 49 cents. Kaminsky, 29 with a good matchup for Luton, right? Oh, yeah. Sheffield Wednesday, yeah. Nice. Sweet. Yeah, he's been terrible. He had that one match that was just like, he hasn't been good at all. But he had that one match that was just an absolute howler. It's just like, yeah, what are we doing? We have like Matt Turner. It's just not good. It's like Zach Steffen might take it over. Then he just concedes everything last night. Melvin Bard for Nice. Saint Etienne. Okay. Leeds have a good away, but they have a good matchup. Rice, 39. That's probably a smash spot, huh? Nkunku. Be nice if I had any of these guys. Nathan Byrne. Yeah, as far as I don't have any of these guys, so it's a shame. Jackson Travis starting, but for how long is the question? Farfan starting, but for how long is the question? I feel like Dallas could do some rotation. Doug. Yeah, too far down here. Don't want to see anymore. It's tough looking at only 40s and below. Not gonna lie. Some of these guys are blasts from the past. Some of them are yuck, MLS wise. But that's why you're here, right? Oliver Skip for Leicester. Gordon Duoff. Still don't know if he'll start. Bedoya shouldn't start. I wouldn't not going to play him. What is the better odds of winning in limited? Cap 200 or under 23? It's got to be under 23. I would assume. I'll make sure though. So under 23 depends what division you're at, but we'll go through each one. 18.78% D1. D2 is 8.69. I didn't miss any, right? No. 3 and 4, 7.19 and 6.93. Then you have it 6.71. So kind of close to D3 and D4, Daniel, but right around there. 6.71 And then D5 is below that. So I guess you could go either way for 4 or 3. Anything above that, significantly better. Tangvik will start. There's a shout from Ronan there. Yeah, no problem, Dana. Alex Mule, these just aren't good players. This is going to be a hilarious competition that I can't wait to see the winning lineup, what it looks like, what the composition is going to be. And then forwards should be a little bit. Alex, what's happening? I talked you up a little bit and said you're going to go 11 for 11 on Sporting Kansas City this week. Just kidding. You'll do great. You'll do better than I will. So I just said it was a bad week. It's going to be very difficult. I kind of preempted that. But no one had Sporting Kansas City. Yeah. So Ryan, just number of entries, not quality. So like there's probably a ton of dead lineups in there. So that does bring up a good point. I kind of didn't really think of it like that. So that's a really good point. So it's probably better to play 200 than play 3 or 4 there, just based on the dead lineups that are in there. Yeah, I don't think Peter could go 11 of 11 and he had the clipboard in front of him. But that's just how I feel about him. Forwards wise, PFOC, let's go. I just thought he was going to be, in the national team at some point and a key member of the national team. Just never panned out as they all do. Owusu, with Kerr starting the last 2. I think coming 5 out of 11. Honestly, I don't think it really matters with this game week because you have the U.S. Open Cup and it's almost impossible. Yeah. And ultimate rotation hell. Yeah, it's almost impossible. Yeah. This is also a really good point. Everyone's on a level playing field, so you're not playing, against under 23s where teams could be great. Yeah, roll the dice, baby. So I'm gonna take a look at what I can put together. I haven't done any research. I got your Chris Brady's. I'm just curious what I can do. I might not do a whole full lineup builder because that's probably pretty annoying for most people. I'm curious what I can do here. So let's see. How low can you go? Yeah, 26% at home. Just be like Laird. Them have what, like 20%, 25% possession, whatever it was. Clean sheet. Who's going to be the guy? Who's going to be the guy that I'm not going to play in another comp? That could be legit. I'm not going to sort of big score. Let's go bottom to, we'll go top to bottom because I like that better. I don't think I have any zeros playing. No. Insane in the Membrane or Subarak. Didn't he just have a clean sheet? He did. -7 AA, but he did have a clean sheet. I won him as like a tier 3, which is cool to win a keeper. He's not worth much at all, but another keeper. Do I think Bouanga rests this weekend? There's a chance. LAFC did a kind of like a platoon split where they rotated Tillman and who else was that? O'Brien was suspended, so not him. Ili Sanchez came off the bench as well. So they did kind of rest some guys. So maybe we do see the other side of that. But with a week off, Bouanga is just a freak. Flat out, he's just a freak. So he did that Gabon trip to like the 18-hour flight or whatever it was, that insane thing. So I wouldn't ever think he'll rotate just because he never does. Oh, Aronson is a decent play. I don't have him. I'm jealous that everyone else has him, and I never picked him up. Yeah, so we'll peg in a keeper, Cavallina. That was a great buy at the beginning of the year, right? Chris Brady against Montreal. I mean, there's a chance he doesn't concede 3. But then there's that chance that, Montreal just wakes up and scores 4 on Chicago because they stink. It's never a good sign when all your keepers are low 40s. 68. I think I had him in like a throwaway lineup, and he scored in 87, which is great. He is what I thought Cavallino was going to be, but I picked him up as an in-season, so that was a win. Always nice to have that. No Seattle this weekend is a killer. Yeah, whenever I was going through lineups, with 14 matches, 28 games, one's that team that's not playing, and I was like, who is it? I couldn't. I don't know why I couldn't figure out who it was, and then I was like, oh, duh, Seattle. That is killer for a lot of people's gallery with how well they've been doing as well. I'm just going to pencil in Brady to see what we do from there. All right. So Brady, I should have a terrible D that like Kirkez against Liverpool. That's going to win the comp, right? Assignon. It's just he scores so poorly. DFS, he's probably pretty good with all his crosses, but that's got to be one of the. He's coming off a 70 and 10 AA. I feel like this has to be one of the worst cards. Whenever he was at Burnley last year, it was just like negative 20 AA. The real play is to list all these losers. Yeah, that would be a lot smarter, but I never said I was smart. When's Carranza's season? Jimenez wasn't sold, so that's just terrible. I wish he was gone. It sucks to lose 2 of those cards in my gallery. Anyone's gallery, but very frustrating. I thought Jimenez was going to be gone and then he would have a chance, but right now he just doesn't have a chance. Ilinik could have a chance to play. Tavon Gray played till halftime, then he subbed off. Ndemba has a chance. That's a little risky, but 37. McNulty, 42 against AZ. No. Koga against Antlers. Delit, maybe. Honestly, 46 is high, though. Interesting. When he returns and goes to Colorado, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I mean, I'd be happy, but like at the same time, Philly Carranza, baby. Yeah, I can't put together a very good team just based on what I'm seeing here. I guess it was fun for a second to think that my bad players would be good in this situation, but they're not. I could play Saliba against Brady. Sikaris could play, could not play. Guido. Quinn Sullivan's probably the play. He'll start. Hutchison, interesting. So throw Quinn Sully in there. And then Sorda, I already knew I'd play him because he stinks. And low cap, but they're playing Toluca, and Santos has been bad. But I guess I have Evan Nielsen against Liverpool. He'll score. Piccoli. What about you? We'll just pencil Sorda in there because I'm not going to use him in any other lineup. That's for sure. What do we got left? 75 left. Man, this competition's hard, isn't it? I mean, obviously, 40 average, and I don't have cards that are under that. Throw Assignon in there just as a give myself 40 left. Yeah, this lineup stinks, man. This comp is going to be fun. Just to see like who wins, what absolute terrible squad wins or great squad wins. Saliba kind of makes sense just because he's kind of a good game. He isn't terrible. But out of my gallery, that's about. So yeah, I'm going to play it just because, I mean, outside of like Brady, but like Brady scores horrendously. But this team is so bad. They're giving away Mbappe's. A winner gets Mbappe in every level, or someone like that. I just can't wait to see what lineup does it. Like, this lineup is so bad that I don't even know if I'll go with this, but like 69, I might not even throw a captain in there. Not even captain a team. Just keep it 69. It got worse. It got worse with a captain. That's how bad this team is. They're like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? Oh, that's hilarious. Good. Oh, man. We'll save it for later, and then I'll rehash it on my own. That's good. That's good. That's why you play the game, baby. I don't even know what's going on now. I guess something going on. Yeah, I'm not going to build all my lineups because that's boring. If anyone has any questions, I will gladly try to answer them. We haven't had a ton of questions, but we've had a good time. Talking about DH Gate, man, I love this. Yes. Okay. Storyline. Well, oof. The storyline for this one, it would take a lot. Quinn Sullivan puts up 100 just because, Gosdog gets injured, so he gets moved up to that cam position. He puts up 3 decisives because that's the only way he hits 100. It's just a great job. But Philly loses 5-3, so they do a great job there. Brady, he saves a penalty, but he concedes 2, but he still scores really well. Asinong, he ends up getting a decisive, but negative 40 AA, still a 60, feels great. Sordo, Toluca gets stuck at elevation, and they send their B squad. Santos rolls, just a tremendous game. You never saw it coming. And then in that same game, since they scored 2, Saliba doesn't score, but he has 3 goal line clearances. I mean, that seems pretty logical. What score will win 200? I don't know. Something crazy from like a 200. Like, I don't know. Is the captain 50% in all these as well? Oh, sort of brace for sure. Chicago wins. Penalty and Brady takes it. Yes. Any news on Hector Herrera? Yeah, I got news. The news is hamstring pull out 2 to 3 weeks. So pretty positive result, honestly, all things considered. I guess it would help if my head got in the way. Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. So the injury was what date? 9/14. So maybe like early October. They said they didn't want to rush him back, though, at the same time. Worst case scenario, playoff time, he's back. So not the worst news as a guy who just bought him. Money in the bank. Yeah, I'd be shocked if that doesn't happen either. I feel like I do have to play this lineup and not even look at anything else. Or you just go with the Bournemouth stack that nobody's going to play against Liverpool. Liverpool, just all their eggs were in the European competition basket. So you could go that route. Just speak it into existence. Can you imagine if I don't play this lineup and like some of those events happen? Like, that would be hysterical. You don't want to wish evil on anyone, but if that Toluca B team can come, that would be great. That would be great. I'm not talking like plane crash in the Andes bad. No, I'm not saying that. Just a freak flu that just runs rampant through the team. That's not too much to ask. I don't think I have anything else here. All right. Any last minute? Yeah, hit me with questions. Here we go. I think Messi and Alba will start. Yeah, I do. I do. I would kind of be shocked if they don't, just since they all got rest. They're making the trip to New York. Was it New York City, or I think it was the Red Bulls actually? They played Inter Miami twice, and Messi didn't play for either, which is always funny. Not funny, but everyone wanting to see Messi, and then Inter Miami comes without him. Limited whale, let's go 5%. Hopefully, you have your La Liga ones. I brought you up earlier. Do you have those La Liga ones in play? Because absolute smash spot again. 177% chance at a reward. So that's good. Yeah. SKC rotation is going to be brutal. Were you planning on risking João Pedro in your Brighton team? I have no idea. I have no idea. When I say I haven't looked at anything, I haven't looked at anything. I'll tell you what my Prem team looks like. Do I have any forward options other than him? Hi. Evan Nielsen. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure if I'm going to play Prem. It looks like I might have to play Champ Europe instead, probably for my in-season. That's probably the route I'm going to go. Yeah, I think so. So probably not unless... Okay. Now we're talking. I was going to say, unless you had any insight that, yeah, I'll probably risk that. I might make it a D4 lineup just to hopefully get promoted. Bravo. So he's fully training. So he should be in the squad. I think do I have any other notes on him? I did see he was training. No presser or anything. So he was training 9/17. Yesterday was the match. And then I heard that he would be full training. But yeah, I think I was 50. Yeah, I was 50-50 on him or Kamal Miller. He could come off the bench. But I do feel like he will be in the squad in some capacity, just based on he was 50-50 to play last week, not even yesterday, last week. So you would think that would be enough time, and with the full training, whether or not that's just me like trying to use, a thought process that makes sense and not what's actually happening. But yeah. Oh, the button has been pressed. What'd you pick up, Daniel? 24 more streams. Yeah, it does take a while to get there at times, for sure. So yeah, let's hope he starts. I'll play. Yeah, I'll definitely play him then. Why not? Because he can't get relegated from D4. What's happening with Ryan Gault? Server data has him 67% to be benched. Maybe just coming back from injury, they think that he's not going to play. They have rotated in the past, but I think I'm 80 to 85% on him. I can actually look. Let me pull it up. Yeah, I'm 85%. He's looked fine. Brian White coming in doesn't really change unless they keep the formation with two strikers and they played Fafa and Brian White together up top. I do think Brian White's going to start, but I think they go back to the 3-4-3. Just kind of makes sense to have, or I guess it's 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's kind of, I guess I'm more bullish on him than the field. Oh, Alan Velasco. Yeah. Easing him back, but he was forced into action. He played 45 minutes. So yeah, that was interesting for sure. I don't know if he'll be in line to start. Let's see. What did I put him at? I kind of already forget. I think I had him as a toss-up. Yeah, I have. I mean, it's muddy. It's muddy to say the least. I have him 40%. So at that left wing position, I have him, Natasa Beleng at 30% and Leggett 30% there. With Show going off with an injury, I think Leggett moves into like that right center mid position, but we have Delgado in the mix as well. So a little bit risky, but he's going to play off the bench for sure. What's up, Ben? Classic. That's classic. I'll keep grinding, Ben. Thank you. You love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah. Any other questions? What do we make it here? Oh, $1.50. Not bad. And I didn't even build a lineup. It's got to be some kind of record. I'll probably give it like another minute or so. As any questions come in, I appreciate everyone for watching, as always. Can't think of anything really else. I don't really feel like building my lineups either. But here's a good question. Yeah. Night y'all. Happy lineup building. Tomorrow, 10 minutes before building. Yeah, love to hear it. Thanks for coming in, as always. As always. Let's do this. This is fun. This is a fun question. All right, so let's see the matchups and then talk this through. Do I want to do team fixtures, MLS? Yeah, that's fine. I don't know why I like this view a little bit better. So the question is, as you can see that I've had it on the screen, Cucho and Rossi. So let's start with them. Columbus is at home against Orlando. Orlando's in great form. You can't take that away from them. But Columbus, Cucho came on the second half for 45 minutes. Diego Rossi came off at halftime. They both will be relatively fresh. Played 45 minutes, but they didn't play their usual workload. Should both start. Kind of be shocked if they don't. Portland are on the road at RSL. RSL getting back Arango, coming off a huge win that they really needed to kind of right the ship a little bit. Road, but there should be goals in that match. Vander Moreno or Ricky Puig and Peck. Solid matchup as well. I don't know why not break them up? I feel like if you have all those guys, that's great, obviously. But like Diego Rossi hasn't been scoring great. That could change in a blink of an eye. But like, I kind of like putting a Vander with Cucho. Both are smashers. And then like in your extra spot, either put Puig or Peck. And I think you have a really good lineup, and all teams have a decent, if not plus, matchup. So I kind of like that, kind of mixing them up. But if you had to play a duo, just based on everything, matchups and everything, probably Puig and Peck, just because they just smash a little bit more. The two of them, just because like Evander's really good, Moreno's really solid, but he does need that decisive where Ricky could just be on 60 without even trying. So that's a great question. I love that question. What's the latest? So he missed the last match. I wasn't on baby watch. I apologize. I did have him at 90%. I messed up. Sorry about that. In my notes, birth of child, missed last match, but should be available for the weekend if Pauline lets him. So wife's name is Pauline. I would think he'd be good to go, but yeah, that's the only insight I have. I haven't gone Instagram digging. I'll be honest, I don't have him, or else I probably would go Instagram digging. Yes, I'm going to build lineup in the morning. Absolutely, it's Hershey. Let me know who you get. Just send me a DM, or I'll just check your tweets. Can't wait. Yeah, throw me a like. Why not? I don't know what it does, but the more likes, the better. I appreciate that. Sorry, I was supposed to make your lineups. I apologize. I don't even want to make my own lineups, to be honest with you. Yeah, Kucho and Evander together. Oh, you have Hartle as the other man? Okay, yeah. He had a rare, not great. He didn't smash for once. That was weird. But them playing the Quakes on the road should be a good one. Yeah, that's just as good as it gets. Does Kucho live under the? Yeah, Kucho definitely is up to the hype. Ben, would you captain Hartle? Out of those guys, personally, I wouldn't. I think you could, but San Jose, I mean, it's a good matchup. I don't know. I just have a hard time not either Cucho, Ricky, whoever else it might be, Evander. Like, that's tough. It might be the exact team, man. That's awesome. JVIC, yeah, those are still mine. I still put those together. Some of the staff do update if I'm like not around to update right away, but yeah, I do those. So I usually, if it's a regular week, I have them out a week early, and obviously I make changes the week goes on as news comes in. But those are still managed by me. Yes. Yeah. So if you need, a free kind of just to see who the stars are, it doesn't show any percents or anything like that, but they are who I project will start. But again, some of those might be toss-ups that I don't feel great about. But yeah. Ooh, some of your Dutch boys with Cucho and Hart. That might be a really legit strategy. If you're not playing the Eredivisie comp, that you play those guys. That's Red or Dead. You might be onto something there. You might be onto something there for sure. How'd you get into this kind of stuff? I'd really like to start learning about this stuff. I was like 10 years old. I was like, that's a great joke. Yeah. I don't even know how I got into it, but I'm not sure you want to get into it. It's just it's fun, but it's stressful. It's a wormhole that will take you down places you don't want to be. Watching Peruvian soccer in the middle of the night in J League and not going to sleep ever. So no Deeks Diamonds. I apologize. I just did not have time. When I have a full week, I can put that, like next week I'll have them out. I apologize. I just couldn't get around to it. I just with the quick turnaround, I just didn't have time to get there. So I apologize. Next week you'll have them. Hate to let down the community, but just couldn't. I barely got done with lineups, to be honest with you. And if I would write it tomorrow, it kind of defeats the purpose because it'd probably be posted after lock. So sorry, it's Hershey. Hey, I appreciate that. And honestly, anyone that reads those, I really appreciate it. Every click that those get definitely helped me out to make RotoWire, if you don't get any views, they probably don't bring me back. So I appreciate everybody reading those. All right. Any last minute questions? I'll probably hop off. I guess I'll build my lamps tonight. You never know with work. Don't want to run into a bind where I can't like go in the morning and build them before the kids get in, but or just at my house before I leave. But yeah, probably do them tonight. Who am I kidding? Yeah, hopefully Lucho can get back to where he was. Yeah. Nashville's turning around. I hate to see that. Not that I don't like Nashville. It's just you kind of pencil that in for like a 3-0 win for a while there. But I'd be shocked if Lucho doesn't get a decisive. It's just he doesn't go it's unheard of for him to go like 3 matches without a decisive, which is crazy. But yeah, Nashville, Joe Willis is prime Neuer right now. So Ronan, good night. I appreciate you. Absolutely appreciate you coming in here as always. Bogus should be good, but LAFC kind of did a platoon rotation where they kind of they rested multiple guys. So you hope that he's not one of them that gets rotated for this. David Martinez did score off the bench, but I don't think he'll start. He's just kind of a bench player he's young, he's youthful, but with Christian Oliveira probably out again, he's going to be questionable. I don't see him starting. So Bogusz on that right wing, Vela isn't ready yet by any means. He's kind of their only option. They do have other guys that could play there, but he should be good. Lewis, good luck with that 15 press conference, man. Shout out to you for doing that for everybody because that is awesome. I think Charlotte will still be terrible. Thinking nice little Carl's Hill captain. Yeah, so the odds say this. Depends who else you have. I was kind of wondering the same thing with me. I might. It's hard not to captain Carl's Hill just because he smashes. But is this where like Charlotte figures it out? Second biggest favorite on the slate. I just think they let down. So I'm kind of more. I like Hill. I think he's gonna do well. Christian Ramirez. As far as the rotation, they go Chambos, and they've been alternating Christian Ramirez. So if that continues, which it should be Christian Ramirez time. So Chambos played last match. If they have this congested fixture, they usually go back and forth. So I would think I went 75% on Ramirez. So while that could be wrong, it just seems like that's kind of the how they've been doing it. Could AZ Jackson just out of nowhere play instead? I hope not, but also a chance. Jeffrey, what's happening? Go to Chipotle order. So I get a bowl, brown rice, black beans, double chicken, verde salsa and hot salsa, and that's it. And then I'll get chips on the side and dip the chips in. Great question. Ooh, Clit or Bernadeschi? Good question. You can lock in Clit playing. Philadelphia has been struggling to keep clean sheet whenever Blake's not in there. So I do think DC scores. Let's see. What are they projected? 1.33 XG. I do think DC scores. Could it be off of a free kick, set piece type of thing? Sure, could be. Bernadeschi, Toronto's in. Osario got hurt. They weren't like major injuries. Insigne, he was subbed off. So they're kind of, they lost a lot. And if those guys don't play, it could be a little bit of a tricky matchup as the biggest dog. So I would probably prefer Klitsch. Absolutely, Red or Dead. Absolutely. I appreciate you coming in. How's Bravo doing for the Timbers? So he was fully training. I think he'll be in the squad. It's kind of, we haven't heard, and plus I can't really trust anything Phil Neville says, just based on prior experiences. But he should be in the squad. I just don't know if he's going to start. It's Kamal Miller can play that left back position. With that being said, Zuparik is suspended with yellow card accumulation. So if Bravo can go, it would make a lot of sense. It's just kind of, then Miller can play left center back, and then they can go like Arujo instead of playing a guy like Zach McGraw, but not sure. Jeffrey, 3 a.m. here, man. I appreciate you staying up late or getting up early, one of the two. Absolutely, J Vic. Absolutely. Saad did play some minutes last week. Will he get a start? He could. He could. He definitely could. But yeah, that's tough. That's tough. As far as the wings and kind of how Orjano could push up, but they have so many forward options that it kind of doesn't make sense for him to play right attacking mid. But I do like it whenever he plays there. But Assad's close to getting back in the lineup. He was playing really well before he got injured. Oh, it's Hershey. Huge. Yeah. The U.S. Open Cup and the Canadian Championship. I can't believe I didn't touch on this. So that could be the reason why the gold. I totally forgot about that. Had it in my notes, but I completely forgot about that. So the gold, whoever asked the gold question, that would be why they possibly think he'll be out. Congested fixtures, and that's a huge match. So we could see second teams for both of these teams. So like Asario and all those guys probably won't play on the Toronto side. And then, yeah, guys like Gald, maybe they don't start. Maybe they get limited minutes. So that's a really interesting angle. I definitely need to put notes in. I'll definitely do that after this. It's Hershey. Thank you for that. That's huge news. Huge news that completely slipped my mind. So it's Hershey as a Canadian and right, Canadian. Do you think Gald plays? Because that's games in Vancouver, plus I think Whitecaps got 2 games in hand. Yeah. Stewart, Armstrong, and Ahmed flew to LA. Yeah, that was kind of weird that they stayed behind for the previous game, and then they're flying in to LA. I found that odd whenever I saw a hard journalist tweet that, but yeah, interesting. Anderson Holio, he played so well. Like, I have a hard time keeping him out of the projected lineup, but I just don't know where he'll play. Like, they're going to have to sit somebody that sat last match, like Chicho. Chicho sat out due to yellow card accumulation. And then like Diego Luna, he sat out. They just rotated him. Diego Gonzalez, he rotated as well. So it's just like they're all fresh, so it doesn't really make sense. But he definitely played himself into a role. It's just I don't know where. All right, there we go. Yeah, Gald plays in LA. Perfect. Good. Daniel Cooper, yeah, Franco Escobar should be good. I think that was just like a herd mentality. It should even out close to the lock. He's fine. He has no injury or anything. He had that yellow card accumulation suspension. So maybe some of the predictions were from previous to that. Yeah, I have him as 80% starting, if that helps you out. Hopefully. Assad hasn't proved anything yet. He played well whenever he was in the starting lineup. I mean, he was putting up decisive and good SO5 scores, maybe not real life performances, but just from an SO5 standpoint, he was actually pretty solid. It's Hershey. Do you think Fafa plays too? I have Fafa in my starting lineup, but he's been good too. Unless they play like Levante Johnson, but I feel like they played Levante Johnson in Canadian Championship before. Are there squad roles in that? It's Hershey. I can't remember. Do you have to have so many Canadians in your starting lineup in the Canadian Championship, or how does that work? I could have sworn there was some sort of role with that, or I might just be making that up. I could definitely just be making that up, but that stuck in my head for some reason. 3 starters. Okay. All right. So it's not like as severe as some of the other like crazy leagues that 3 stars. Okay. Good to know. All right. Any other questions? You can find me on Twitter, Discord, anywhere. Just shoot me a DM. As far as like tomorrow, I do struggle looking at my phone. I just can't during the day as much. So like I'd have to wait till my lunch break, which is post lock. So any questions, hit me up overnight or something like that, and I can usually respond in time. Let's see, pause, St. Clair or Johnson. So let's see. As far as clean sheets, because obviously you want a clean sheet. Pause, let's see. Dallas has a clean sheet percent of 22%. St. Clair has 18%, and Johnson has 15%. So I would take the home keeper pause for me against LAFC. It doesn't feel great, but slightly better. Insigne going to be out. We don't know if he's going to be out. So what I got from the Herdman presser was he had a tight calf. And Herdman was like really upset that he let down his team, and because he thought he could have played through it, type of thing. And he kind of just, some of the fans on Twitter were really brutal on him as well. So I'm not sure if he's going to be out, but with that Canadian Championship, there's kind of no reason to play. Red or dead, yeah, those are pretty bad. I'm in a similar situation with some of my keepers this game week, where it's just like, don't concede 3, and then can the rest of my team do well? But like I hate whenever you go in and you're just like, there's no way there's a clean sheet coming out of this, especially in MLS, because it's MLS and there are goals. So I'm going to end it here. I'm going to build my lineups, try and get to bed before midnight here. Those of you guys who stay up late or get up early, it's like, 3 a.m., 5 a.m. It's tremendous. I appreciate everybody coming in. And as always, I'll keep doing these. Even through MLS season, we'll talk about Europe. We'll talk about everything. MLS is obviously what I'm good at, and I can't answer the questions, but I appreciate everyone joining me in here. And it's great to see each and every one of you guys. Usually like every week it's the same group. So thank you for spending your Mondays and Thursdays or whatever day it is whenever you watch me here. So good luck this game week. Good luck at Hershey with your under 23 D1 reward. I am pumped to see who you pull. And anyone else for reward day, if you have anything cool, I can't wait to see it. I don't have any card rewards, but I got like $80. So it might as well be a card reward because I'm going to spend it. All right. Good luck, everybody. And we'll see you guys on Monday.